This has been one of the hardest things I've had to do. What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I just got done watching because for some reason I decided to marathon M. Night Shyamalan's films, and this was his last movie before he finally turned things around, before he finally came back from nothingness, because that's what this movie felt like. I am talking about After Earth. After Earth is a 2013 film that was only co-written and directed by M. Night. This is the first movie that he made where he wasn't 100% solely behind it. You had the story by Will Smith. The screenplay was by M. Night and Gary Whitta. And the film was produced by Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. So it's clear that there are many people who are to blame for this debacle, for this ill-timed, misinformed movie. The plot is, it's set in the future where, what do you know, these aliens have invaded and attacked and killed a bunch of humans, but we don't really get to see any of that. That already happened. You see the aftermath where the people who are still alive, they're doing some space flight and they get attacked by these asteroids and the ship crashes, and the only survivors, Will Smith and his son, played by his real life son, Jaden Smith, they're stranded on what's left of Earth. And Jaden, because his father is hurt, has to go off and go to the beacon and endure all of these creatures and eventually aliens and blah 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 blah. Honestly, this movie, I'm not prepared to say it's M. Night's worst film, although if you told me you thought it would, I wouldn't be so quick to argue with you. But it is his most boring. It is his most uninspired. It is just one of those times where even the movie itself was not trying to let people know it was directed by M. Night. His reputation, his name had gotten so bad up until this point because of the various flops, because of the horrible reception to how many of his films by this point in a row where his name's not on the poster like it usually is. The trailers don't say his name. Hell, the trailers don't even say, which they will always find a way to do it, but they didn't even say from the director of The Sixth Sense, from the director of Unbreakable. No, they stayed the fuck away from anything that's connected to this dude to trick people into thinking, oh, maybe this is just a decent sci-fi Will Smith movie. But no, people were smart enough to realize the bullshit. Let's talk about this dystopian future that, once again, I've seen so many times, especially at this point. I'm not saying you can't do a story that's interesting with that setting, with that future. You can, you definitely can. But when it's something like this, when it's something as lifeless as this, when I don't give a shit about any of these characters, that's where we run into a huge problem. And they show quick clips of the alien attack that happened years ago, and you're finding yourself going, especially because we know what we got after, why didn't we just get that movie where the aliens show up and attack humans and they talk about Will Smith's character, who, the name of his character, I admit the name is very cool sounding, Cypher Rage. That's like an awesome video game character name. I like the idea of Will Smith being this warrior without fear, because the aliens, they're able to see you, they're able to sense you, they're able to attack you because of your fear. They latch onto it. But Will Smith, he has no fear. He's trained himself to just be stone cold. And Sure, you see Will Smith and you expect him to have some personality. You expect him to have some charisma. You expect him to have some one-liners. I, too, am almost waiting for him to tell some jokes. But he does not tell any jokes here. A part of me thinks, hey, he's trying something different. He's going for the stern, general father type that's very strict and very stubborn and not willing to give his son a chance. I get that. I do. But when you get no personality from anyone else, that's when you turn to Will Smith and say, please give me something. They really try to sell you on that spacecraft crash where everything's going haywire and Jaden Smith is freaking out and Will Smith is calming him down. I remember the trailers specifically selling you on that scene and how horrific that's supposed to be. But then you get to Earth, you get to the futuristic Earth, and it's filled with, like, it's a jungle. It's filled with almost mutated animals that are out of control, and you can't, like, they're on the prey, they're on the hunt. And I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. I don't buy Jaden Smith as this fucking kid who's willing to do what he has to do. He's so whiny, he's so bitchy and complaining, and it's just, you want to see him get eaten. You do. You want to see those monkeys devour him. You want to see that big giant eagle that looks horrible. The CGI is horrible. It's too much CGI to where everything looks fake and like a video game. I can't believe that after The Last Airbender, a studio would trust M. Night with a budget like this. Maybe it was Will Smith who said, I want to work with this guy, or I want to give him another chance, but obviously it does not work. They could have gone more grounded. They could have either scaled the budget back, or, imagine this, you didn't have to have the space atmosphere. You didn't have to have the futuristic approach. You could have just had a father and son be stranded in the woods, present day, with no communications, and his son having to go out and maybe face off against real life animals. Even that probably wouldn't have been great, but it would have been better than this bullshit. Jaden Smith, I can't stand him, and it doesn't help that they tried, Will Smith included, tried so hard to make this kid a star, to make him happen, to make him a thing, and it's clear that not only was he not good acting, not only does he not have on-screen presence to be a main character, he's supposed to take the reins, almost have the torch passed down to him by his father. His father is Will fucking Smith, the guy who they called Mr. 4th of July from the 90s to the 2000s. He had so many summer blockbuster hits because he oozed charisma, because he was so likable. Nothing like what his son does in this film. Very unlikable. They have all these flashbacks of his sister in the movie, played by Zoe Kravitz, who she was killed by aliens long ago, and that feeds into Jaden's fear. And I gotta be honest, Zoe Kravitz, she's 100 times better than Jaden, even in these quick scenes. You wish, it's like, why wasn't this her? But obviously, she's not really related to Will Smith, so that's your answer. I didn't care about the alien design and the CGI that looked fake as hell. I still, even though M. Night has made a resurgence, he is back to making good movies again. I can't believe he still continued to get the chances that he did over and over again. People were willing to give him a shot, and I don't understand why. How long could somebody bank and coast off of 2 great films in the beginning of his career? Holy fuck! Fuck this movie! Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of After Earth? Do you agree with me? I was gonna say, do you like it? But I would be surprised. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.